Hey everyone, it's the Average Sim Racer here again with another episode of the My Team Career Mode, and we're going to be doing the Dutch Grand Prix at the Zandvoort Circuit. So I'm very excited about it. I do like the track. It's a very fast track with not many places to overtake, but anyway, we're gonna try and enjoy this Grand Prix as we go through some of the managerial options here, and we have to pick a second sponsor. So I decided to go with Atlantic. I felt that they had the best value as far as the cash reward and the goal, which was to finish 75 laps, which is very doable between two cars. Um, so I feel like that would really benefit us financially to make more money. As we need to upgrade the facilities and such. So with the new sponsorships, we are able to edit our car livery and sponsorship decals as we try to spread the wealth with the sponsorship slots. Yeah, we gonna brandish our new sponsorship deal with Atlantic, put them on the wing. We got XXY and Equinox at a good spot, and I decided to put Atlantic on the rear wing again. So looks like we have an even amount of distribution going on with our sponsorship. So the car is taking shape pretty well. It's not looking so empty, and yeah, we're looking solid with the points. And gonna add some activities. So we'll go with PR filming 4 days, and we'll do some driver promotion filming. We'll do some shorter days here. Get the team acclaim up with that one. Decided to go with the power equipment upgrade as well. So a nice distribution with the team activities there. And it looks like a successful R&D research going on there, and we finally got our durability successfully completed. So we go ahead and we spend more on the durability side of things because we're really struggling with the wear. I mean, some of the components are already at 50%, and we're only at our 5th race. So it's crazy how much the engine wears. And we're just looking through the other sectors of the R&D. Finally start the race weekend at Zandvoort.
The new parts that have come in from the factory.
So here I am cycling through the team objectives. Looks like all it's straightforward here. And again, we're doing the track acclimatization. And it looks like it's going real well. I have a lot of purples going on there. And the track is really fun. It's a really fast circuit. A lot of fast corners. Very windy. It reminds me a bit of the Hungaroring, but faster. And overtaking is going to be difficult in this track. There isn't any big braking zones besides into the chicane, and the first turn has this DRS zone, but the first corner is a bit faster than you would like in an overtaking corner. So yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a hard time making up some places in this track, but anyway, we did really well in the practice objectives. Normally, don't really get a perfect score, but this time I was able to perfect the practice mode, and yeah, set the fastest lap in the first practice session. But again, I was on the soft tires in a qualifying run while everyone was on the mediums. So we get our resource points up, and the team acclaim and driver's acclaim all get a nice boost going there. So now we head into qualifying. So here we go with the qualifying run, and again I run just the short qualifying mode. I don't do the Q1, Q2, and Q3. I just liked it better this way. It's more efficient for my time. But anyway, we start the lap, and yeah, we go through this quick right-hander and this full-shaped left-hander. And, run a little bit wide there, but it's good for the exit. And we go to the S section here. It's all flat out, and then a really quick right-hander. Just throw the car in there with little braking. Little brakes here again, throwing the car. And then we just brake a little bit, don't go too heavy on the brakes there. And then the left-hander here. Keep it tight to the apex, and then get a good exit for the DRS zone here. Get a good blast down this mini straight, and then brake hard between the 150 meter board into the chicane. Get a good exit out of the chicane, running a little bit of oversteer there. Throw the car into the quick right-hander, and then it's flat out up to the start-finish line. And it's a really quick circuit, really fun to drive, and a lot of elevation change. Kind of running out of ERS there at the end of the lap, and we go up to P12 on that first run. And here in the second run, going to try to improve our position. So normally I run 2 runs with the short qualifying mode. That's just to preserve the engine wear and all the other component wear. Yeah, I don't want to be running too high on that because we're not really upgraded with the durability sector of the R&D. So I only run 2 laps, so this is the final run that I'm to do here in this qualifying session, and we're going back and forth with being up or below the delta of our first lap that we set. So we head onto the mini back straight here, getting into the chicane, yeah, trying to get a tighter exit there so that you can get a good exit, good blast down that mini stretch, and then we throw the car again, run wide, try to take as much curb as you can there so you get a good exit out of that final section of the track, and we improve our lap by a couple of tenths, and we get up to P12, which is a really strong qualifying position for me with a 110.857, and we did really well. Car is running really strong at this track. Very happy with it, and we were able to beat Magnussen in the rivalry. And with that strong qualifying, we get our team acclaim up to 6, so we're moving along quite well. And on to the race.
It was 35 years ago that the late great Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix win here at Zandvoort. He came from 10th on the grid to beat his McLaren teammate Alain Prost by just 0.2 of a second. Well, Zandvoort is a very different circuit today, of course, but still one with an incredible legacy. And we're going to add to that. Welcome along to the 2020 Dutch Grand Prix. A lap of this short 2.6-mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left. The main straight is 678 meters long and heads into turn 1, the Tarzan.
So here we are in the beginning of the race. We set our strategy up, feel the car a little bit as I normally do, and here we go with the start. 5 red lights, revving the engine, and we let go of the clutch. So yeah, not a bad start, getting more comfortable with that aspect of the game, and we are diving it way into the inside. I don't know if I touch my front wing or not. It's hard with this cockpit mode. I know we end up not gaining any places with all that effort, as we're staying in 12th place. So being aggressive in that first corner. Sometimes though the AI catches me off guard with their braking, because they just follow a single line. So when I dive it up the inside, they're all braking, and they all just get grouped and bunched into one, and they just go really slow when that happens. But yeah, so we don't make up any places there, and we're trying to stay in touch with the cars in front as always. So we got the two Renaults split up. Ocon in front of me, Ricciardo behind me, and yeah, just trying to get a feel for the track and race trim. And so far it's going quite well. So we come up to the end of the first lap, and it looks like we're running strong. Looks like everything's going quite well. So a couple of laps fast forward, and looks like we're competitive. So we're really getting close to Ocon now, trying to keep pace with him as we're braking right there. We got close to his tail, so now we just gotta be careful, because we're braking really strong here compared to the AI, so don't want to get that front wing damaged. Now this section, it's just hard to follow cars, because the aerodynamic loss, creating a lot of understeer. And again, as we just brake hard in turn one, and Ocon not braking as hard as we are, so we're again getting really close to his rear. Just locking my wheel up there a little bit there on the left-hander, shaped like a bowl. Go up to the S section, easy flat, even following in a car. And this track is just really enjoyable to drive. Get a little understeer there, I missed the apex a bit, but so far, yeah, we're doing pretty strong. Our pace is strong. We could be going a lot faster if we weren't behind these cars, and it's hard to overtake because it's a track that's kind of like Hungaroring. It's just endless corners. But anyway, we're getting up to Ocon here. He starts to brake really early, and we have to dive it up the inside, because I was actually really caught by surprise by that, and try to make it overtake as cleanly as possible, because the AI, they love to turn in on you. So yeah, I just got a bit surprised there. It looks like we banged wheels, but yeah, we made it stick, and nothing got damaged there. So I guess a clean enough pass there. But Ocon fights me on the left side. He's trying to get me, but there's a corner coming up, and he had to back out of it. So yeah, this fight was getting really intense. And now we go up to P11, so we're now a place behind the points-paying positions, and now we gotta chase after signs. So I think Ocon went to the pits right after, and I had Ricciardo behind me. And yeah, we still got a train of cars. The two McLarens up there. Looks like Sergio Perez was up there as well, and he was kind of backing us up a little bit. So it looks like all three of us, the two McLarens and me, could probably go a lot faster, but we're getting held up by the racing points here. And yeah, I was just biding my time a little bit here, because as I said before, that this track is really difficult to overtake, and that Ocon pass was really crazy. As we get the DRS there, Sainz is on the DRS as well, and trying to close in on them there, braking hard as possible. They're locking up their wheels, and I almost get Sainz from behind again. And yeah, they're really not strong with their brakes here. As I noticed within the past couple of races, that the AI is not really aggressive with the brakes. I can just brake much later than they can, so that's an advantage that I have, especially in a track like this. As you saw with Ocon, it just caught me by surprise, and I had to dive it up the inside. We're getting real close to Sainz again, so don't know if I could really force him into a mistake, because the AI is just following a line. They don't really change their driving tactics much, I guess. So yeah, just trying to keep pace with them, and trying to find a window and see if I can overtake them somehow. But anyway, really enjoying this track, really enjoying the race. And then now we decide to dive it into the pits on lap 11, and we'll change our tires there as we brake hard for the pit lane limiter. Oh, it looks like we had to wait for those cars to pass me. I guess it wasn't safe enough for release. So we go and exit pit lane, and we drop down to P18 after all of that. So we'll see what happens with some of those cars in front. I'm sure most of them will have to pit as we're on our fresh mediums. And it looks like Lando Norris ahead of us put on the hards. So he's looking to finish the race on those tires, and I guess we're going to have to do another stint. So we really got to pass Norris if we want to score any kind of points in this race. So it looks like George Russell gets out of our way as he was behind us at the start. And now we get real close to Norris, and on the pit stop it looks like Sainz got ahead of both me and Norris, because I think we got held up a little bit by the traffic there, so that was a very costly pit stop for us actually. And now we have to deal with Kevin Magnussen, who's still on his softs, and I believe he is yet to pit on lap 13, so we're getting a little bit held up here, and so far this pit strategy is not really working out well for us. So we're coming out of the last corner. We expect Magnussen to go into the pits, and there he goes. He dives into it pretty late. But Norris gets held up by Magnussen, so we get a good run at him. And this is really important because we're on the mediums and he's on the hards, and we overtake him right on the outside. So that was a really important move for us if we want to score any kind of points. And now we can chase after Sainz and Perez, who stayed ahead of us after our pit stops. So yeah, really important pass there. Magnussen kind of helped me out there, so I owe the stake there tonight. So now we have to go after Sainz and Perez. They're both on the hard tires, and we're on the mediums. And we did get the call that some rain was coming in, so I'm going to try to hang it out on these mediums as long as I can and see if the rain indeed does come. So with that news, it's looking quite well if we can take advantage of these mediums and use the extra grip to get past these guys. It will be very important before the rain comes. So with the tire advantage, I'm hanging real close to these guys, and especially with little effort I can pull away quite well if I can get by them. So here we go, trying to brake again as hard as I can, and Perez, his pace hasn't been really good all race. If me and Sainz could get by him, we would be flying away from him, but yeah, he's holding us up pretty good, and I'm not sure if we can get any more than 9th place or 8th place now with the way that we're being held up, because looks like we're up to 10th, and now we get a virtual safety car going up, so gotta slow down for that. Keep the delta up in the green, and then we get the virtual safety car to end as we enter the pit straight. So now we click on the DRS again, and Sainz and Perez are having a good battle out there, and Sainz is going up the outside of Perez, and it looks like he's going to make it stick, and I tried to follow suit, but I wasn't able to make it, and now Sainz is clear of Perez, and I'm just trying to desperately get by him because he's holding us up pretty badly. As you can see, Sainz, he's just pulling away real quickly. And so now I'm going to see if I can get a chance to overtake him here on the straight. Hopefully Sainz was clear of the DRS. Looking at the timing on the left-hand side, it looks like it's just about a second clear. So, yep, I get the DRS, and I was able to breeze past Perez, close the line a little bit so he doesn't take a dive up the inside, and now we can hunt for Sainz. So that was actually a pretty important overtake for Sainz, and it helps me to move up on Perez and take 9th place away from him. So now it's starting to get pretty dark, and the news that the rain is coming, it looks like it's coming into fruition. We just gotta hang it out on these mediums as long as we can, because if it stays dry, we would definitely have to make another pit stop. And Sainz is just getting out of shape there. A lot of oversteer on that exit of the first turn. So yeah, we're gonna try to put some pressure on him. That's one nice addition that this game has for the AI, is that they do get some oversteer, which wasn't the case before in previous games. But yeah, it looks like the raindrops are starting to fall, and my tires are wearing down a little bit, so Sainz was pulling away from me because I was losing some grip. And if it was a dry race, I'd probably have to make a pit stop at this point, but again, I'm just waiting to see if this rain will come so that we can put on the intermediate tires, or wet tires if it really gets out of control. But yeah, we get some drizzling going on here, and we're losing some time because tires are getting away from us, and the road is getting a bit slick too. So the conditions are changing, and it's a little bit tough to keep up with Sainz. And now he's about 2 seconds ahead of us. So right now we're just settling into 9th place, and we hope that the rain will come and that we have a strong pace on the wet tires as well.
The tyre situation is an interesting one, but I think
so we're on lap 26, and again, looks like the rain is just drizzling out there, and not quite time to put on the wet tires. So we're just trying to hang on, just trying to keep some momentum going. And looks like Stroll was holding up Sainz a little bit, so we were catching up to them, as I got the gap down to 1.7, and the road was getting a lot more slick, so I decided to come into this lap because I knew that the rain was coming, and decided to take a chance and get the intermediates on now because I was struggling quite a lot with traction, and it was probably going to be slick enough for these tires within the next lap or two, so I decided to throw them on now. My team does a good pit stop, 2.2, and we get away, and now we got to put heat into these intermediate tires that we got going on here, and we drop down to P14. So we'll see if this gamble works. And right away, I felt that the intermediate tires were the right choice. Had instant grip, better than what I had before I pitted, and then as you can see, I'm hounding Gasly and Raikkonen, which was a bit of a concern because I didn't want to lose too much time, so I just flicked on the overtake and blew past Gasly, and they all come into the pits, so it looks like it was time. And we overtake some cars in the pits, and now we are into P10. So we're doing quite well. And yeah, looks like I made the right choice to pit early, but Stroll still gets ahead of us as well as Sainz. So, but it looks like we made ground because now we're 0.6 behind. Probably would have been ahead if I didn't get held up by those two cars that were ahead of me before they pitted. And I'm getting a lot of oversteer on the exit of the last corner. So Sainz got ahead of Stroll. So now we have Stroll that we have to deal with instead of Sainz, and just all race long, Sainz was there for the taking, and I just couldn't make it happen because I pitted earlier than he did, but then got stuck in traffic. And yeah, sometimes it's tough when you try to pit in early, but then cars are ahead of you, especially in a track like this. It's just really difficult to overtake. But looks like we're gonna get a good run on Stroll. He's been struggling. Since we caught up to him, and the racing points, I mean, they were up there, but the pace wasn't there for them for some reason. So try to get a run on Stroll here. He looks pretty far away, but we know that we can brake hard. So let's see what we can do here. Yeah, he gets on the brakes real early, and we just close in on him real easily. And yeah, starting to lose some traction a little bit here, my rear tires, as we have 3 laps remaining. We're on lap 33, and getting a good run from Stroll here in these and just trying to hold on in this middle section. Difficult to overtake, difficult to keep up with a car, because as I said, following a car through this section is really difficult. You just lose a lot of aerodynamic downforce. Just upsets the balance of the car. So now we flip on the overtake. We try to close in on Stroll as much as we can. We know he's going to brake early, so we get on the brakes really late, and we just make it into the chicane. And yeah, I didn't think I would make it on the brakes there. I just broke as late as I could, and as we can see on the replay, we get a good run in the straightaway, and then yeah, it seems like he just let us have that because he didn't fight that one too much. So good overtake on our part, and in an area that's really difficult because the straight is short, but we were able to get good traction out of the corner, get a better run than he did, and brake much later. So we get up to P8, and that's as much as we can do at this point, as we're on the last lap, and we are to cross the line and finish the race, and we pick up a good 4 points for the team. So yeah, I'm really happy with that result. We made some pretty nice overtakes in this race, and that was an enjoyable one. I really enjoyed that one, and the track is enjoyable. It's difficult to overtake, but we made it work today. And P12 to P8, really good result. I'm pleased with that. We had a strong weekend for sure.
After an event like that, who knows what the
So we look at the
sport has in store
standings,
for us
and we
next
have
time.
13 points
Be sure to join us again as we
in
continue
the
to
bag,
bring you
and
the
we are in
latest
10th
excitement
place.
in Formula One.
So the season is going real well, and we also won the rivalry 4-2. So now I'm up 9-6. And our acclaim gets a nice boost. So we're halfway through level 6. There's our sponsorship money. And that was another episode of My Team Career Mode. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you for the next episode.